Shakur moved so well. He won every round, and he was just a step ahead with quickness and just with, just the plan himself. Great plan coming in, and he did well. Congratulations to him.
He won all the rounds? Is that what you're saying? He won all 12 rounds?
Well, maybe he lost one, but he won the majority of rounds.
At what time did you realize that this was just going to be Shakur taking over the whole fight?
After the fourth round.
After the fourth round?
Yeah.
You don't scare me. I'm not scared of you. Upstairs, let's make it happen. 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 We only got to keep talking. Let's make it happen. Okay? Teddy, I want him.
We're ready.
He's
Where you want it?
He's food. He's food. I got him. Okay?
The boxing community has shared its reactions to the fight between Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez, with fans, fighters, and analysts all weighing in on what happened and what it means for the sport. They promised excitement, and they delivered exactly that. What unfolded tonight was a fight fans had been waiting on for months. It was a battle built on speed, timing, and determination, with momentum shifting again and again. By the time the final bell sounded, the crowd was drained, both fighters were worn down, and the boxing world had already moved past round-by-round talk into strong, emotional reactions. From the opening moments, it was clear this would not be a simple or predictable fight. Both men spent time testing each other, measuring distance, and showing a careful level of respect that only comes when two top-level professionals share the ring. The early rounds felt tense, almost like a careful negotiation. Sharp jabs were traded, followed by quick counters, the kind of clean and precise boxing that looks effortless only when done right. At times, the action felt like a back-and-forth discussion. One fighter would land, the other would answer, ideas were tested, and then suddenly a tight combination would land clean and pull a loud reaction from the crowd. It was obvious that both corners came in with strong game plans, but also with the flexibility to adjust when things were not working perfectly. One fighter relied on movement, sharp timing, and clean counters, landing shots with near-surgical accuracy. The other pressed forward, trying to close the gap, attack the body, and turn small chances into bigger moments. These different styles created a constant rise and fall in the action. There were rounds where the counter-puncher looked impossible to touch, slipping shots, turning defense into offense, and scoring in quick bursts. Then there were rounds where the pressure fighter disrupted everything, forcing awkward exchanges and clinches that made clean scoring harder and complicated the judge's view. The tension between smart avoidance and deliberate pressure was felt throughout the arena. Every shift in momentum seemed to move through the crowd like a physical force. Some moments felt destined to be replayed for years. In one middle round, a fast flurry from the aggressor landed clean and pushed the other fighter back for the first time. For the next couple of rounds, the momentum clearly leaned that way, not just on the scorecards, but in the fighter's body language. Then came the response. Late in a round, the counter-puncher fired off a sharp series of clean 1-2 shots, driving the forward-moving fighter back toward the ropes and forcing a reset. It was a clear reminder that timing and accuracy can be just as damaging as raw power. These moments went beyond physical damage. They left a mental mark. You could see posture change, corners leaning in, and trainers shouting advice and encouragement. That is the real human drama of boxing. A single 2 or 3 second exchange can completely change how both teams approach the next 3 rounds. This is what made the Shakur vs. Teofimo fight so engaging. Even more impressive was how both fighters continued to adjust as the rounds passed. When the pressure fighter found success getting inside, the other man changed his rhythm, doubled the jab, stepped to the left, and picked sharper counter angles instead of trading carelessly. When the counter-puncher enjoyed stretches of clean shots, the forward fighter responded by adding more uppercuts and body work, aiming to slow movement and reshape the exchanges. These small adjustments are what separate elite fighters from those who are simply very good. Fights are often decided in the margins, a slight step of the lead foot, a tiny delay before throwing a punch, or choosing the body instead of the head in a key moment. The trainers earned their money tonight by reading the fight correctly and giving clear, usable instructions that their fighters followed while completely exhausted. The crowd played its own role in the story. The noise grew when the pressure fighter pushed the action and dropped into a respectful hush when the counter-puncher landed clean, sharp sequences. As the fight moved into the later rounds, the sound itself felt like pressure on the ring. Loud roars followed big exchanges, and spontaneous chants pushed fighters to keep going even when their bodies were begging for rest. Ringside commentators shifted between excited calls and technical breakdowns, while social media reacted almost instantly. Clips, quick opinions, and slowed-down videos from veteran trainers flooded timelines, pointing out small details like foot placement or a subtle head movement. It is rare for a fight to deliver both wide appeal and deep technical interest, but this one did both. Casual viewers were entertained, and serious fans had plenty to analyze. There were key moments spread across several rounds, none defined by a single decisive event, but each pushing the fight slightly in one direction. A strong middle-round flurry favored aggression on the judges' cards. A later stretch of clean counters reminded everyone that clear punches matter. The final rounds told their own story. Both Shakur and Teofimo showed conditioning and strength, not just continuing to throw, but doing so with proper form while tired and sore. This is where top-level training camps make the difference, preparing fighters to perform under pressure. Watching the final exchanges felt like watching two men who had already decided to give everything they had, and both lived up to that promise. After the fight, the scenes said it all. Handshakes, embraces, tight smiles, and trainers who looked like the night had added years to their faces. There was a shared understanding that both fighters had answered the challenge. The bout was competitive, dramatic, and rich in skill. The interviews that followed reflected that feeling, filled with respect and thoughtful analysis, because no one wanted to reduce what had just happened to a simple headline.
Yeah. You got back there. Yeah.
Hey, them guys got security, boy.
He's leaving now, right?
Hey,
What about Shakur, what have you beat? What game have you beat?
Fans and experts quickly began debating the fight. They argued about which rounds could have gone either way, about whether constant pressure should be valued more than clean and precise punching, and about what the future should look like for the main figures in this matchup. Some people immediately called for a rematch. Others felt both fighters should move on to big-name opponents with very different styles. That kind of debate is exactly what promoters want after a close and gripping main event, because it keeps people talking and keeps interest and money flowing. From a technical point of view, the fight highlighted several long-standing truths in boxing. Timing and control of distance are skills that win fights. They allow a smaller, faster boxer to take away power and land shots that carry low risk but high reward. On the other hand, steady pressure and body attacks have always been reliable ways to slow movement and turn a technical battle into rough, physical exchanges where strength and toughness become more important. Both strategies worked at different moments tonight, and that balance made the fight difficult to sum up with just one clear storyline. Two elite fighters leaned into what they do best while also revealing weaknesses in each other. The judges were given a tough task, not because the fight lacked quality, but because it had many layers. Round by round, momentum shifted, and both fighters had stretches where they clearly imposed themselves. That kind of uncertainty is what helps build lasting fights and careers. When boxing fans can reasonably argue different views about who won, it encourages people to re-watch the fight and keep debating it long after the final bell. The immediate response from the boxing world reflected that. Reactions were varied and, for the most part, respectful. Fellow fighters praised the calm mindset and the ability to adjust during the bout. Trainers talked about tactical changes and the conditioning shown by both camps. Casual viewers were simply happy to have seen a fight filled with drama and tension. Social media quickly filled with slow-motion replays of the same 2 or 3 exchanges, shared again and again, as if fans were searching for some hidden answer in the exact movements and mechanics of those moments.
It's the Teofimo that beat Lomachenko. What if that Teofimo shows up?
Like I said, Lomachenko is a not easy fight. Teofimo was able to be in the ring with different type of fighters and figure it out.
As expected, there were strong opinions and bold reactions in the hours that followed the fight. Still, the feeling that stood out most was appreciation. Appreciation for two athletes who put everything on the line in front of a worldwide audience, and for a fight that reminded everyone why boxing, at its best, remains such a powerful and gripping sport. In practical terms, this bout is going to influence future matchups and reshape the conversation within the division. A high-quality showing, whether viewed as a close win or a narrow loss, significantly boosts an athlete's value and negotiating strength. At the same time, a tough, determined performance from the other fighter makes him an appealing, must-see opponent for many potential challengers. Promoters, sanctioning bodies, and television networks now have new leverage to work with as they plan what comes next. Rematch clauses will be revisited. Talks of crossover fights or unification bouts will start circulating. Promoters will look for ways to turn the drama of tonight into the next major event. For fans who enjoy strong storylines and real stakes, this fight delivered both. One fighter walks away with increased momentum, while the other has a compelling bounce-back story ready to be told. And no matter what the official records eventually say, the impression left by this fight will hold real value in the sport's short-term business landscape. Both Shakur and Teofimo gave fans and critics something more meaningful than a quick knockout or a dull, one-sided technical win. They delivered a fight that raised questions, demanded adjustments, and required real courage. Weeks from now, people will still be talking about those late-round exchanges and the decisions made under intense pressure. When a single fight can broaden the discussion about what elite boxing looks like in the modern era, it has done its job. For anyone who truly loves the sport, that is exactly the kind of outcome you hope for. Stay tuned for more updates, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks.